Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming, and to those who are just joining now, thank you. Just a little bit of housekeeping to start. We do have the Q&A open for any questions that might come up throughout the talk, and one of our colleagues will either get back to you directly or we'll answer your questions in the Q&A at the end. We have about 15 minutes designated for that. So yes.
Okay, brilliant. It's really exciting to see so many of you on the call this afternoon, or it might be your morning, especially because I can see some of the names popping up. Some of you have already got stuck into using ROKBOX Loop, so that's brilliant. Just to introduce myself, I'm Verity. I'm one of the founding directors of ROKBOX. I initially worked for one of the UK's leading fine art shipping companies, Momart. And I was there for about 7 years before I went on to be a registrar for one of the biggest commercial art galleries. And then I did that for another big gallery. So altogether, probably 12 plus years. And it was after that that I left to help set up ROKBOX.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Mithra. I have an MA in Art Logistics from Sotheby's Institute of Art here in London, focusing on sustainable art logistics. And I've been at ROKBOX for just over 2 years now. Working in accounts and logistics management. To start, we just wanted to show you a little video by founder of ROKBOX, Andrew Strumentov, talking about the impetus for why he started ROKBOX and also ROKBOX.
I'm Andrew Strumentov, and I'm the founder of ROKBOX. I started ROKBOX because I was working the art world for auction houses and galleries and building museums, which was really fun. But I realized that whenever we did an art fair or an exhibition or anything really, there was an enormous pile of rubbish whenever we finished, which was at odds with the sophistication of the artwork. And artworks, they're incredibly important. And so if you lose an artwork because it rained at an airport or because someone put the wrong size screws in a box, it's kind of sad and upsetting and unbelievably expensive. So massive pile of rubbish, and then occasionally not working with cataclysmic results, decided that we could solve that with new products and new ways of working. It's incumbent upon all of us as businesses around the world to change into circular economies. The art world, precisely because it's fractured and global, means that there is both an inherent difficulty in introducing a circular economy, but also an enormous benefit to it. So the ROKBOX Loop was designed as being a sharing circular economy for the art world. We have the technology, which is reusable packaging. We have the services companies who are willing to deliver it in across all these different cities and all these different continents. And so the circular economy, it can be established, it has been established, and it works. ROKBOX is a series of reusable crates for paintings that are designed in collaboration with the insurance industry and with art conservators and technicians and industrial designers, and they utilise modern materials to protect paintings and artworks better than the equipment. People have come together to distribute reusable packaging, ROKBOXes, in 10 major art cities across the globe, so that the end customer, it be a collector or a museum or whoever it is, can get the benefits of single-use packaging where they want them, when they need them, without having to deal with the other side of it, which is the storing of boxes or the destruction of boxes. And so, yeah, days of throwing things away are over, and ROKBOX Loop is doing that for the art world.
I hope you enjoyed that. Andrew pretty much sums it all up. Essentially, one of the points he made is that ROKBOX is an R&D company. We're not a logistics company. And at the very heart of what we do is wanting to protect artwork better and wanting to be more sustainable. And that has informed absolutely everything we've done. Importantly, though, there's always been this third factor, and it might not be one of those headline things that we talk about all the time, but it's been cost. Because we've always believed that everybody should be able to access the best possible protection and the most sustainable crating, irrespective of their budget. And so there's always been that third element going on.
And that's where Loop really comes in. So 7 years ago, people were talking to ROKBOX just primarily about protection, whereas now people are more interested in sustainability and costs. Sustainability is key. It's definitely something that's becoming more and more important within the industry.
As a lot of you will know, ROKBOX crates have been available to buy for quite a few years now. And they still are available to buy. So you might wonder why we set up ROKBOX Loop so that you can rent them. And the simple answer is people were asking us to do that. Firstly, we learned that people don't always want to store an empty crate when it's not in use. That might be because you have limited storage on site in your workplace, or where you store off-site is quite costly or inconvenient. Even something as simple as keeping track of empty crates isn't always easy. I can certainly remember that. Additionally, I think it's fair to say that all of us have to operate on shoestring budgets now and again, even if it's not something we have to do all the time. So sometimes you might be working with a really fragile artwork, but you might not be able to pay for the best possible crate for it because of the specific budget of that project. ROKBOX Loop brings prices more in line with commercial spec prices. And so you can access a really high spec crate, but you're only paying a fraction of the cost because you're only paying for it the amount of time you need it for.
And as well, you might already have some rock boxes or a small fleet, but you might need to supplement some cases in some instances. So for instance, if you have a last minute shipment or something that you need a really cost-effective crate at short time, we just need 48 hours notice for collection of your cases. And sometimes it can actually be reduced if you just get in touch with us directly.
So we had people asking us for this rental option, but now we've launched ROKBOX Loop and it's been up and running for quite some months now and people are using it. There's another small group of people who feel that renting something feels like quite a big change because it's different to how they've arranged their shipments in the past. It's worth pointing out that how we access different goods, different services in different areas of our lives is changing all the time. And this is just another part of that. So for example, Uber, Zipcar and other car rental schemes we've all got used to. It's becoming increasingly common to rent clothes for special occasions instead of buying them to only wear them once, or perhaps renting tools for use around your house.
Exactly. So ROKBOX Loop is kind of the same thing. It's just a crate rental program. Andrew said there was 10 locations globally, but we actually have just opened another. That makes it 11 locations internationally. That's across UK, Europe, North America, and Asia, which is really exciting. And as Verity said, we are not a logistics company. We are an R&D company. And this is why our shipping partners are integral to how Loop operates. So we currently have 4 shipping partners. They are Gander and White, Hass & Co, Trans, and Deetle, and potentially more to follow. So Gander and White, shipping company here in the UK. They have been handling fine art of museums and private collectors for over 90 years, and the company was founded by Frank White in London. Now they have offices across the US, UK, and France, and it's still essentially a family-run business. So their Loop locations are London, New York, Miami, LA, San Francisco, and Paris.
Deetle International, do I really need to introduce them to you? They've been operating for more than 3 decades and they're based in the US, and they offer a bespoke service with an exclusive focus on fine art, freight forwarding, and customs brokerage. Deetle International was started by the legendary Fritz Deetle, and as you will all know, he's still very much involved with day-to-day business operations now. Deetle's current ROKBOX Loop locations are Chicago and New York.
Brings us to Helitrans, our Asia component. So established in 1978, Helitrans is one of the first freight forwarding companies in Indonesia and continues to expand its business network through personalized services and professional team. It's headed up by Dick and Ida, who I'm sure many of you are familiar with, potentially have worked with on Art Basel Hong Kong coming up, and their locations for Loop are Singapore and Hong Kong.
Last but not least, Has & Co were formed only a handful of years ago, but the team at Has & Co has over 370 years of experience between them. It was founded by father and son duo Peter and Armando Haas, and Has & Co have certainly confirmed that disruptive behaviour and change can lead to good things. Disruptive behaviour and bringing about change are things that definitely get ROKBOX is applied to, so we're very supportive of that. Has & Co's current Loop locations are Switzerland and Germany.
Yeah.
So those are our 4 shipping partners. What does it mean to be a Loop shipping partner? Essentially, they manage the hubs where we keep our ROKBOX Loop rental crates. So they are the locations from which you can pick up your crates and drop them off again at the end of the rental period. The fact that these 4 shippers have signed up to Loop demonstrates that they're not afraid of change and they're willing to shape their businesses to suit their clients' shifting concerns, such as sustainability becoming an increasingly important topic on your agendas, and perhaps you requiring increasingly creative solutions to budgetary constraints. Loop is a truly collaborative effort, and it's really groundbreaking in terms of what it's doing in the art world. These 4 fine art shippers are sharing resources like never before, and that's why we at ROKBOX are so impressed and so grateful for their support and involvement.
Definitely. Our products are open to everyone on the same rental terms. So whether or not you decide to work with one of our partner shippers or a shipper that's not part of Loop yet, you can see all of the prices on our website, and you can rent for weekly, monthly, and 3 monthly rental terms at the same costs. So please, and for extended periods and also for traveling exhibitions, just email us directly and we can work on that together.
I'm going to really quickly run you through the range of ROKBOX products that are available through Loop. We're also going to send you some information after the webinar, so don't worry about making loads of notes or having to retain that information now. The Loop rental product range includes ROKBOX original crates and ROKBOX Lite crates, both of which are designed for 2D artworks. We have 2 sizes of original available to rent and 2 sizes of ROKBOX Lite available to rent. ROKBOX Original is the most sturdy crate ever, engineered for repeat usage up to 100 times, and it comes with these combi clamps as standard for securing your artwork, your card pack, your travel frame within. ROKBOX Lite is exactly as the name implies. It's superbly light for moving around, which means you're maximizing the environmental savings. When you use a Lite through Loop, it comes with wooden pallet feet as standard, and it also comes with these velour and Velcro straps as standard. There's also a third option, which is popping a ROKBOX Lite inside an original, and that's what we call a ROKBOX nest. When you do that, your Lite wouldn't have pallet feet on it. What's essential to the reuse potential isn't just the external robustness of the crates, but it's also the internal hardware systems, so the combi clamps or the strapping, because it means you can take one artwork out and then straight away put another artwork in, even if it's of a slightly different size, without having to do any internal refitting or anything like that. Overall, this ROKBOX Loop product range is hugely flexible and versatile. It can also be adapted to suit the specific requirements of the artwork that you're moving at that particular time, just as you would do with a wooden crate. So for example, you might choose to put a bit of additional material underneath the green rubber of the combi clamps. You might choose to put a wooden batten from one combi clamp to another because the screw holes in the top of the clamps that enable you to do that really easily. And in terms of light, something you can do is you can very easily put some additional foam underneath the straps and around the outlet, just in case you want an extra layer. So you've got loads of options. They're really simple to use, but we do have product guidelines available, and we also have some really user-friendly videos as well. We also frequently do online meetings similar to this, where we do very detailed demos on how to get the best out of the hardware and crates.
Exactly. Always happy to help. If you scan the QR code on the front of your box from Loop, you'll see the full product guidelines there. Just wanted to tell you exactly how you can order these crates and see what the product range is. That's on ROKBOX Loop website, so rock-boxloop.com. There'll be an order form that you can fill out, and then one of our team will send you a quote directly. We also have a short video on how to do this on our Instagram, so please feel free to have a look there before you place an order if you have any concerns.
So that was whistle-stop tour of what ROKBOX is, what the ROKBOX Loop range is, and how you go about ordering it. One of the other things we've been referring to throughout is how ROKBOX crates are safer than anything else. How do we know that, you might be wondering? Well, there's a long answer to that, but I'm going to give you the short answer. The short answer is we did a ton of research that included taking our own experiences to the table on why and when artworks sometimes get damaged. It also involves speaking to anybody who would give us 5 minutes of their time: insurance industry, conservators, fine art technicians, anyone and everyone who was happy to talk to us about this. We also read a ton of existing industry literature about how best to protect your artwork. We took all this knowledge, we paired it with the skill set of industrial designers, and then we started building prototypes. And each time we built a prototype, we then tested it against high-spec wooden crates, and it became this iterative process of design, testing, which would then inform product updates and redesigning. And this went on and on for quite a long time. We did all our testing at an independent testing facility called TÜV. They're normally used by much bigger firms than ROKBOX, so Military of Defence, Rolls-Royce, Airbus, that sort of thing. And we did all our testing there. And ultimately, we proved that ROKBOX products outperform other industry equivalents. We're going to send you, rather than talk you through all those stats now, we're going to send you the testing data after this webinar. But one of the things that's become so apparent is how safe ROKBOX is, so much so that AXA XL have demonstrated their full support for ROKBOX Loop. As one of the world's leading fine art insurers, this is a really huge endorsement for ROKBOX, so we're absolutely thrilled about that. Before we move on, here's a tiny snapshot of some of the testing we did at TÜV of all the ROKBOX prototypes.
Hope you enjoyed that. It's a great video. I also wanted to talk to you about some of the sustainability credentials that ROKBOX has. So something that's really important to us is manufacturing close to market. This is to reduce the emissions within the supply chain. So our ROKBOX original crates are actually manufactured here in the UK, and our ROKBOX lights are manufactured in the Netherlands. Our products are meticulously crafted to design out unnecessary waste. So we've used the least amount of each material as possible without jeopardizing any of the structural integrity. We've also done comprehensive life cycle analysis of all of our products, not just independently, but with Stitch, Sustainable Tools in Cultural Heritage. and there is a full report that we will be sending to you after this webinar. It compared ROKBOX with the other existing reusable crates on the market, and also museum spec wooden crates. ROKBOX performed outstandingly, which is fantastic. And something that's really key to note is we weren't just considering the global warming factors of CO2e, but also other environmental factors such as carcinogens and smog. And we're continuing to work with sustainability specialists to make sure we're understanding the whole life cycle of our product and exactly what happens at the end of life. So I will be sending you more details on this after this webinar. I also wanted to mention that every time you rent with Loop, we will send you a carbon saving. This is an analysis of what you've saved versus if you used a wooden crate. And at the end of the year, you can tally up how much you've saved, which is a really good incentive for your own business if you're curious about what difference it's making by using Loop.
So now you know why ROKBOX Loop is safer, and you know why ROKBOX Loop is better for the environment. We'll quickly run you through how it can be good for your budgets as well. It's worth noting that we offer the same prices for ROKBOX Loop rentals to all our users, irrespective of the time of year. Pricing starts at £290 a week for the ROKBOX Lite and £480 a week for the original. We offer flexible weekly, monthly, or 3 monthly rental periods. Please get in touch with us directly for prices for longer term storage or for touring exhibitions. We also offer GCC active member discounts for first time Loop orders, which is a whopping 50% off their first time rentals. So how does it save? Imagine how much it would cost to have a heavy duty museum spec wooden crate made of around that size during a busy time of year. Instead, you can rent it for just a week or just a month, just as long as you need it for, so you're reducing the amount you're having to spend. We have only priced rentals of ROKBOX products for up to 3 months, as we figured that it might be cost effective to own a ROKBOX crate after that time. But it saves you in other ways as well. ROKBOX tends to be quicker to use, so it's using up less of your technicians' time each time they're packing and unpacking artworks, and also they tend to use less wrapping materials around the artwork as well, so it's saving you time and money in that sense. Importantly, ROKBOX is also safer, so it means there's less that can go wrong. There's less scope for human error. And when there is one of those events that you can't stop from happening, it provides better protection. So it means you're making less claims on your insurance, and you don't need to self-insure as much for works that fall under your excess.
Amazing. I hope this is a really good incentive for you to use Loop if you're not already. So we already have some really amazing use cases and cases moving all around the world. I just wanted to quickly touch on just one use case here in London. We worked with a contemporary gallery to move 38 framed pictures from a picture framer to their London location. And so we packed all of these 37 works into 4 ROKBOX Lite cases. And we just had a piece of card between them because we had to stack the works for them to fit. It was a really good example of how much you can pack into a ROKBOX, and also the fact that you do not need that soft wrapping if you just have something simple between. When we got to the location, we unpacked on site. It was really quick. And then the gallery actually told us that they saved 5 actual rubbish bags of bubble wrap. That's how much that they actually saved just on that journey. And for us, that was just brilliant. It's really good to hear these case studies just to show exactly how much you can save. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. We've been talking at you for a bit longer than we planned to. Now's your chance, though, to ask us questions. Our colleagues off screen have already been answering some of your questions that you've sent through on the Q&A, but if you haven't sent your question, then please feel free to do so now. But I think they've kept a couple of questions back just to test us.
So the first question is, what new locations will there be for Loop potentially in the future?
Do you want to say? Sure. So we're in discussions with a lot of different shippers, and our existing shippers potential to expand across Europe and also America, and potentially into the Middle East as well, and more parts of Asia. If you want to stay updated, please sign up to our newsletter. We'll send you the link to that as well, and we'll be announcing all new locations regularly.
If I want to extend a rental or change the drop-off location, is that possible to do so after I've rented?
It definitely is. So, good question. If you just email us, we just need 48 hours notice to re-divert your crate. So make sure that the warehouse knows that it's not getting dropped off, and the new warehouse knows that it is. And you can extend as well. That's an option.
And then finally, the final question I've got here is, are you planning to add any more sizes into the ROKBOX loop anytime soon?
To be honest, I think we all wish we could add more sizes tomorrow, because we definitely hear the demand for that, probably larger and smaller. So the simple answer is yes, we will do. We've started off with a very select group of 4 sizes of crates with the 2 different hardware systems. We will expand that. So if you particularly want us to go larger or smaller, please do let us know. As Mithra said, that kind of feedback is invaluable. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll be sending around just a short survey after this call, and also just please head to ROKBOX Loop website. Sorry. One more question? Okay, we've got more time for one more question. My colleague's just saying.
Late entry.
Okay.
Is there a set shipping, handling or warehouse fee for each delivery and each pickup, or does that amount vary?
Really good question. So the handling fee is included in the rental price. So what you pay is included pickup and drop off of the handling fee. If you're using not our shipping partners, you will have to source the box from their warehouse, and that cost will be up to your selected shipper.
Having said that though, our shipping partners are definitely working to ferry the empties round as cost effectively and also as efficiently as possible. So you're probably looking at quite a creative solution on that in terms of the sustainable impact and the cost impact of doing that.
Brilliant.
Any more last minute questions? Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the call. And those of you that are already using Loop, we're incredibly grateful for your support. And those of you that are considering it, please do get in contact. We're very happy to have a chat. In fact, we'd love to have a chat with you. So let us know how we can help. Thank you.
Thanks.